Ohiopyle Cucumber Falls parking lot. 9:53 a.m. Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. The parking lot for Cucumber Falls is now open again. That's a really good thing. This means that as far as tourists go to Ohiopyle State Park, all four of the main highlights in the park, the four biggies, tourist beautiful things to see, even if you like to see the big overlook area, and if you like to see other things like Jonathan Falls and stuff like that, those would be, I consider them number 5 and 6. But the first four, this one here, Cucumber Falls, is kind of like number in my opinion, Cucumber Falls, Ohiopyle State Park, is kind of like number 2 after Main Falls. Today the river's between 3 and 4 feet. Temperature's around 40 degrees right now. I think it's going to get up to 60 later today, but between now and lunchtime, and it's only just coming on 10 a.m. But anyways, the Cucumber Falls parking lot used to be closed because in 2025, in September, October, there was a microburst here. Okay, so this is Cucumber Run. It's going down to the Youghiogheny River down there. And Cucumber Run goes over Cucumber Falls right here. Hey, the parking lot's open again.
Yeah, finally, huh?
Finally.
Beautiful day out too.
It is, it is. You too. So, late March, I spent the first part of the morning going over to Main Falls, checking the Main Falls. And if you left your stuff or it fell in the river, somebody picked it out, they brought it back here. There really isn't a proper lost and found, and not unless you go back to the information center, which is back that way in town. If you really, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what gets turned in. Cell phones and everything, so if you do drop anything, it sometimes gets turned into the information center, lost and found. Just find out. Okay, so here we are. Okay, this is the metal bridge right here. Oh, we have the smell of skunk in the air. So there was a skunk around here, either hit by on the road or did a little spray here. So you're not supposed to walk out to the cliff's edge right there. There's where Cucumber Falls goes, right over the edge right there. It's like a dangerous drop. So it's not recommended you clamber out there. But of course, before all the safety precautions and everything, of course people did that, but just be careful. You slip over that, you probably die. The way down there is this way. That bridge leads to what's called the Great Gorge Trail. That's the Great Gorge Trail right there. As you can see, the river is going, or the stream, Cucumber Run stream, is going that way. And way down there, it's going into the Youghiogheny River, and that's downriver. So, even though that trail goes a little bit uphill right there, it's essentially the Great Gorge Trail going downriver. And it has some important side trails off of it, which I've done videos, many videos, and some of my favorite hiking areas are on that side trail, which if you're interested, you can look that up. It's off of Great Gorge. This is Cucumber Run. That's Cucumber Falls right there. We'll get a better view. This view was blocked by all the tree fall that fell down last September, October, when we had this microburst, which is not quite a tornado, but it was at a very powerful little weather whoosh. And that whoosh of the microburst was felt by one of the famous long-term employees, observers of the park, Mike Murphy. He's the longest photographer, and when we get down to the river I'll point to where he hangs out. These are the people that donated the park. So thanks to Maurice Goddard, Secretary of Pennsylvania Department of Forest and Water, Charles Lewis, President, Western Pennsylvania Conservancy, Mrs. Albert Fraser Keister Ethel. So thank you. Thank you for making it happen. So this little area has been turned in, has been donated to the Conservancy, and then the Conservancy has an agreement and donates it to, I believe, the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources to make sure everybody can enjoy it. Here's the fall. What's interesting, here's the fall, is try to find out where they're standing. We're gonna walk down there and see if we can find it. This used to be blocked from last September, October, when the trees fell down here. Now they've cut them all up and rebuilt the fencing here so you don't fall over and kill yourself here. Oh, good on the park. So everybody can now come back to Cucumber Falls parking lot. 25 March 2026, and you can see either the number 2 or 3 natural wonder of the park, Cucumber Falls. This is Cucumber Run, and it goes down to the river. We're going to walk down there. This trail, the park chopped it all up, chopped all the trees up, rebuilt the fencing, which in the 15-16 years I've been hiking here, several times have trees fallen over here and made this impassable. This little switchback allows you to get down there safely, and so good on the park. And it's good to know Cucumber Falls parking lot is now open for tourists. So you can up close see the number 2 tourist site in the park. Yeah, look at it. The old ones were destroyed. They had to build all new ones here. This whole section right here was just destroyed. Now the wind came this way. The wind blew all the traffic this way and went up that way. I've got other videos from earlier than now, between now, which is March 26, 2026. Going back, I've done several videos to try to look for the path of that microburst. And still to come, I'm going to do a video with Mike Murphy, who was the Ohiopyle Photography main photographer for the last 16 years. Mike had finished his day of photography and was walking back to his car at this parking lot here, and the microburst came right down on top of him as he was hiking back to his Jeep. When that happened, He said he was lifted off his feet, or blown off his feet, off trail. So what we're going to do is we're going to interview him at that point. You can see that from my other videos of the last 6 months in this area of the damage of that microburst of the trees. When there are these strange microbursts which swoop into the canyons here. They do swoop into the canyons every, oh, who knows, 30, 40 years. They will do all kinds of strange damage. It just shows you that you cannot limit. Nature does not limit where it has microbursts, where it has tornadoes even. Wasn't quite a tornado, but if you're lifted off your feet by a microburst one afternoon, you kind of go, well, that was pretty close to a tornado to me. And that's what Mike is going to tell us when we interview him later. When we get down to the river, I'll point you where Mike was, or where Mike sets up for his photography. This is technically called the Cucumber Falls Trail that we're walking on. It's a tiny little trail which essentially starts at the Cucumber Falls parking lot where we started, comes down Cucumber Run stream, and this is one of the feeder streams that feeds into the Youghiogheny River right down here, which is the second major stream which comes into the Youghiogheny River down here, and which makes the river very interesting, very high, very challenging right in this area. And all this white water down here we see ahead through the trees of the Youghiogheny River, that white water is what is called Cucumber Rapids, because the Cucumber stream comes in here, adding all this additional water into the Youghiogheny River with all this rock boulder debris that was swept downriver long time ago by the glaciers or the melting or whatever that happened. If you want to understand the geology, then that's one reason to speak to the park ranger named Barbara Wallace, and she'll give you the briefing on all the rock, the geology, and refer you to the papers done by the now retired geologist, expert of this area, Jim, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's the expert geologist of this whole area. Youghiogheny River right here. We're walking on what I call the Cucumber Run Beach, because all this sandy beach area here gets filled, and when the river is higher, the river will creep up all the way to that signpost back there. All right, so Mike Murphy, the famous Ohiopyle photographer who works for the Ohiopyle photography business, which is just around the bend, and around the bend, and that's upriver, Youghiogheny River, upriver from the Cucumber Run here. That's the Cucumber Rapids right there, upriver. Those rapids up there are called entrance rapids. These rapids here are called Cucumber Rapids. And right down there and to the left in that massive boulder field, that's one of the My current favorite places in the park is the boulder field, which you can reach more easily by a trail that comes down. And then on that side up there, up past the trees, up 150 yards or so, is what's called the Great Gorge Trail. The Great Gorge Trail, from this point here, from where Youghiogheny Run comes into the Youghiogheny River, and if you're kayaking or rubber rafting downriver, on your right, Ferncliff Trail, Ferncliff Peninsula. On your left, Great Gorge Trail, and various beautiful rock boulder formations on both sides of the river from here on down. My current favorite is right here because the boulders are just so beautiful, and once you get up to enjoying scrambling on boulders, that's a beautiful area to scramble boulder hopping in. Just simple, gives you a short bang for your buck, scrambling right in there. You can always scramble on the other side too. There's trails that lead down. See where those yellow pines are? Sorry, those I think they're eastern pines are those tall ones. Up there past them is a little trail that comes down to right over there, right over here, and then you can walk along the river shore. It's more challenging hiking on that side of the river in those boulders area, and you have to watch out for snakes if you do it in summer. In summer, you always have to watch out for your snakes. Your snakes are always kind of hidden. Occasionally they're right out in the open sunning. When they're not sunning, they'll be in the cracks and crevices. So therefore, once you see enough videos of where the snakes hang out, you'll know how to keep an eye for them. You do have copperheads in this boulder field where Mike Murphy sets up, and the other Ohiopyle kayaking and river rafting businesses back in town. There's 4 main businesses for rubber rafting where you can get your guided rubber rafting tours down the river, very safe. Mike and the other photographers hang out in that boulder field there because this is the first challenging rapids where people will fly out of their rubber rafts right there. And he's got many examples of rubber rafters flying out of their rubber raft. Looks like there's a fisherman back up there. Right here on our side of the river, back that way, there's an unofficial little trail right along the river. Very difficult. It's very difficult for me. I don't even do it anymore. It's too much scrambling for me. But if you want to, takes me a half hour to go from here, just 150 yards. It gets so difficult. There's a better trail that's up there. That trail you can go easily, and that trail up there, we're not going to take it today, but because this is the what is this? This is the Youghiogheny Run. This is the Youghiogheny Run stream here. This trail is called the Youghiogheny Falls Trail because when you're upriver and you're coming downriver, when you're upriver and you're coming downriver, when you're upriver at what's called Meadow Run, where Meadow Run stream comes into the river, starting at that point, from the point where Meadow Run touches the river, back to us downriver on this side is the Youghiogheny Falls Trail, because you would be coming on that trail, and that trail goes high and goes low. It's high up there, and the Youghiogheny Fall Trail goes back where we just came down from, and that leads back up to the Youghiogheny Falls parking lot. There's the falls through the trees there. Above the falls is that metal bridge, and if you were to wish to continue hiking downriver, which I do, sometimes the stream the Cucumber stream here, Cucumber Run stream, is low enough you can, I wear boots, if you rock hop, you can get across without getting your feet too wet, or you have to go up and around. Looks like there's just a little too much. Not unless you don't mind getting your feet a little wet. You could do it. Yeah, you could do it. If you're a stream rock hopper, you could do it. So I would go from here to here to here to there to there to there to there, and that's a nice steady rock. Just have to know your footing, know how slippery the rocks are, know your limits, not mind getting your feet that wet. Sometimes when it's just a little lower, you can do this one. It's a little safer. I don't have the energy to go down there today. Okay, Cucumber Run stream, Youghiogheny River, Cucumber Rapids, through the trees down there, Cucumber Rapids Boulder Field. It's on the left side. In the boulder field is where Mike Murphy does his photography, and in the next month or so we're going to interview Mike. We'll catch him on the end of his day when he's packed up his equipment and he's walking back to his truck, and he'll lead us to the point where the microburst came down on him and pushed him into the forest. He'll tell us all about that in a later video this year. It's now March 25th, 2026. Cucumber Run, as it goes into the Youghiogheny River. Across the river is the Ferncliff Peninsula. On our side is the Great Gorge Trail, which is up there and goes downriver from this point. Great Gorge Trail is most often hiked between here, that's Cucumber Falls, and back above there is the Cucumber Falls parking lot. Cucumber Falls parking lot, Great Gorge Trail, takes you all the way down the Youghiogheny River on the left side as the river's going down river from here, Cucumber Stream. And then that reaches the what's called High Bridge. And High Bridge is one of the most beautiful sights in the park, very easily. Plus the Great Gorge Trail is like kind of an old person trail, like the old European old people trails. You know, 60, 70, 80-year-old people in good enough shape can walk the Great Gorge Trail. The other trails are a little more challenging and not doable by really old people. But anyways, Ohiopyle State Park, always beautiful, always incredible.